Good morning, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is the Mighty Santa Paula Times. And good morning, Santa Paula, I should say. I'm the Mighty Santa Paula Times. But this is Good Morning Santa Paula, and our guest today is one of our very favorites. It's Jonathan Royes, who is the management analyst for the city of Santa Paula and the public information officer. So, Merry Christmas to you, Jonathan.
Merry Christmas, Peggy. Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, thank you. And you too? I know you've got that new house to worry about, so.
Yeah, during the holiday seasons, getting into a new house, moving and unpacking, it's quite the struggle.
And of course, two small kids just to keep your mind off the other thing.
Yeah, a 2-year-old to keep things. She's great with unpacking boxes.
I bet she is, absolutely. And then probably repacking them when you're back. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's so much going on in the city over the Christmas season. Santa Paula's had a lot going on.
Yeah, well, we just finished the Santa tour, so I think if you were able to see that, it went really well. Santa was able to visit a lot of our neighborhoods throughout Santa Paula, and talk to the boys and girls that were nice and not naughty. So that went really well, and then we had our spectacular little farmers market, holiday event this past Friday that I think went really well. I was able to attend and saw a lot of faces and a lot of kids having fun decorating cookies and all kinds of goodies. So
a lot of ugly sweaters.
Yes, yeah. I still been meaning to get one of those myself. So I think I want to get one. It says "Deck the City Halls."
Oh, I like that. Yes, I always used to say "Deck the halls" if they make it.
Right. So
that's very
good stuff going on. A lot of the events have finished. Because we're so close to Christmas. Did want to let everybody know the lights at the train depot are still up and running, and they've got the music and everything going, so you can tune in and listen to a pretty cool light show over at the train depot.
Oh, yeah, it's beautifully decorated. The whole corridor there at the railroad station and the gazebo and the depot and all of that. Santa Barbara Street off of 10th. It looks just wonderful. It really does. Now, and you know what I found of great interest too with the Santa tour, with had an entourage of dune buggers.
Yes.
Decorate. And Santa had a sleigh that we might add was built by Carlos Juarez, the former mayor. One of his accomplishments while in office was building Santa's sleigh. And then Santa himself was on the old Mack truck, the old Mack fire truck from 1954, I think. So
yeah, pretty awesome, right?
It was awesome.
Yeah. And then correct me if I'm wrong. I did get to see it myself, and I would strongly encourage anyone, if they're still doing it, at the Oddfellows, the train show at the Oddfellows building at the clock tower. Check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. They can check the Oddfellows Facebook page, and it's got all the links because they want people to buy tickets in advance this year. But it's wonderful.
Really beautiful setup. I mean, I've never seen so many trains running all at the same time on different tracks. Amongst all the different Christmas trees and the holiday decor. It's really an awesome sight to see if you haven't seen it.
Amazing. It really is. We've had people say they've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And one year, I don't know if they did it this year or not because I didn't look up, but one year they had in the clouds up, they had clouds and they had lights on, so like lightning show.
Wow.
They do,
pretty neat.
Every year they do something spectacular, so yeah, wonderful. And also all of it, everything raised goes to the Oddfellows and their building project because they own that wonderful Oddfellows Lodge and the clock tower. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I did want to remind everybody, Peggy, that this weekend, in observance of, the holiday and, Christmas being here and the New Year, that the farmers market's actually going to take a break this coming Friday and next Friday for a little bit. So, I think this is a great opportunity at the same time, for all our vendors to, take a break. They work so hard coming out there to, provide all their goodies. But it gives us a good opportunity to spend your money downtown. Whether it's being those last minute gifts, if you can't think of the right gift to maybe get somebody, hey, guess what? All the food downtown is amazing. So stop in your local restaurant, get a gift card to one of the downtown eateries, and I guarantee you, whoever you give it to won't be disappointed.
No, and they won't be hungry, you know. So,
Yeah, right.
you know, to worry about taking them out for a while, but also go to the hair salons, and you can go to the antique stores, and they've got salons. They've got so many places that just really would love to buy you a gift certificate and sell you a gift certificate. People love gift certificates.
Yep.
Out what they want.
Yeah, plenty of good stuff down there to buy clothes. There's a shop down there, Santa Paula Trading Company. I always seem to find something when I go in there. So
Yeah, too. So there's a lot of choices to shop in town and save your gas money, so you can spend even more in Santa Paula. You know.
Absolutely.
And speaking of spending, I hear that the City Council was very generous with the American Rescue Plan Act funds when it came to the nonprofit organizations in Santa Paula. Would you give us a little update on that?
Yeah, I mean, great news on that front. The American Rescue Plan Act funds, we refer to them as ARPA funds. In the city, we had covered this briefly a couple of months ago, but the city was lucky enough to get from the federal government related to COVID $7.1 million over the course of the next few years. And that's being broken up into two disbursements, one of which we've already received, which is a little bit, I believe it's about a little over 3.5 million. And so council had spent some time back in May having lengthy discussions amongst themselves, with staff, with community, getting public input on how to spend these funds. And for the most part, they allocated a lot of those funds out, some of which are going to be helping the Harvard Boulevard project continue to move forward. But we had an opportunity here where they had allocated some funds for the Spirit Homeless Shelter, and also to take care of some of the fire hazards with the eucalyptus grove out there by Cemetery Road. Luckily, the city, we were able to get some additional grants to take care of the grove, the eucalyptus trees. And then Spirit was able to get a $1.5 million grant from the state of California through the city to help them with their renovations. So those funds that were previously allocated were now available. And one of the things that council was adamant about back in May was, how do we set aside some of these funds to assist our nonprofits that went through such a difficult ordeal during COVID? It made an impact on their operating expenses, on payroll, right? People had to go home. There are a lot of effects from the COVID, and it really made an impact. So how do we give back to those nonprofits and help them succeed coming out of it? And so on Wednesday, they made the decision to set aside $250,000 from our first allotment of ARPA funds to assist them.
That's wonderful. And they've got the breakdown, or is that the next step to actually decide who gets what and when?
That's a great question, Peggy. So a lot of people might be wondering, now that they've set aside those funds, how do we access those funds, or how are they available? And while the city staff were still working on the application and the guidelines, those should be forthcoming very shortly here in the new year. And then what council's also established is an ad hoc committee with council member Cornejo and council member Juarez to sit on that committee and help go through the application process, so that when organizations apply for these grants, we have some additional decision makers there to help allocate those funds out.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. I'm excited, and I'm sure nonprofits are very excited. They do so much.
Right.
And, yeah, they took a terrible hit, just like, everybody. So.
Yeah. So definitely good news on that front. And I know we're going to encourage all our nonprofits in Santa Paula that have, been making a difference to apply for those funds, and find out more information. And like I said, it'll be coming out here soon in the new year.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a great way to start the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, absolutely. With some money in your pocket. That's always a good thing.
Well, and as you mentioned, Peggy, they do so much for our community. This will really support those nonprofits, ramping back up those services that may have had to have been stopped during COVID, right? They might have had to either let people go, or not maintain certain staffing levels, or affecting the services that, provides, on a daily basis things to our residents. So this will hopefully help get them back up and running and able to provide that.
Yeah, they're called nonprofits for a reason, and they, we've got hospice that does so much for everybody, and the Boys and Girls Club, and we've just got various clubs and organizations that have programs, and several of which, are many which are focused on youth. So, that's just a thing. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, any idea? I know we're not going to have another council meeting. Do you think there's any possibility at all that we might have to go back maybe on, not quarantine, but maybe stop having public meetings? Or do you think we're okay with those for the time being?
So far from what we've heard, from the county, we look to the county for everything we do. And I strongly encourage everyone, if they do have questions regarding COVID, to go to www.bcrecovers.org. At this time, though, based on what we've heard, the same recommendations apply when you're indoors. Continue to wear a mask to help. The Omicron variant, is spreading, and it is now the most prevalent form of COVID that we're seeing out there. So typically if someone's getting COVID, it's probably got the Omicron variant in it. But the great news is that it's not, from what I understand, as invasive as the other strands of COVID. And so if you have your booster shot and you have your vaccine shots, you should be good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's very important, is having the shots. So, yeah, and it is 73% as of yesterday of all new cases in the United States are for the Omicron.
Right. And, that website that I mentioned, bcrecovers.org, is very helpful. It'll help you get a COVID test if that's what you're looking for, because people are getting together with family and friends and they want to make sure they're doing the right thing. But the other thing that you can do is obviously get vaccinated. And by going to that site, it'll easily help you identify in your local area all the different locations where you can receive a quick and free vaccination. There's no charge.
There's plenty of vaccine out there, so people really should be encouraged to go do that.
Yeah.
That means all of you out there. I know I have. So anyway, anything else, Jonathan?
Peggy, I just wanted to really take the time. We've been doing these Good Morning Santa Paula, little sessions, and it's been such an interesting year. But I think, I always like to look at the bright side and the positive side and things, and it's allowed us to learn about, our residents, learn about the different things in the city, and kind of adjust, right, and make changes to adapt to, what we've been faced with. And out of it comes a lot of great things. So, on behalf of the city, we just wanted to say thank you to everybody for, being Santa Paula, for sticking together and staying positive, and for helping us navigate this process together as a community. We really appreciate it, and we wanted to say, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone, and we're wishing everyone a happy and healthy and safe New Year.
Well, that's a wonderful message. That really is, because that's what it's all about, as a community. And you have a wonderful Christmas. And
thank you. You as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'm kind of cynical. I look at things though, but I do look at I would prefer the glass half full. But I do want to know what's in it and who put it there and why. But it's still half full. So we're all going to get through this, and we're going to have a much better year next year also.
Yep, absolutely, right. We'll get through this, so.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Jonathan, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, great seeing you again, Peggy, and again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you. And everybody out there, have a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays. If you celebrated Hanukkah, bless you. We're just having a real good holiday season this year. Things are looking up, and it's going to be even better next year. Once again, Peggy Kelly, and with the Mighty Santa Paula Times. This is Good Morning Santa Paula. You'll be able to watch it on Government Channel 10 if you have Spectrum Cable. Also, you can see it on kadytv.com and on YouTube. If you do watch on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to find more broadcasting like this. And again, everybody have a wonderful holiday, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.